flat tops. I don't want to see them, I don't want to wear them, I don't want to do them. People who wear them are just gross.
So what if someone walks in and asks for one?
I'll just pretend I'm busy. Maybe I'll even pretend I'm cleaning.
But what if they're already in the chair?
I'll just tell them I forgot something in my car. When they're not looking, I'll just leave.
So let me get this straight. Instead of learning how to do it, you'd rather just avoid it and place limits on yourself?
Limits aren't always a bad thing. What if they didn't have limits at the casino?
If I didn't know how to do it, I'd practice till I got it down. And I know you would too, and that's why you clicked that video. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the YouTube Barber Academy. The army is growing strong with over 300 videos to help you learn all things barber. All you gotta do is click that subscribe button and go ahead and enlist.
Today we're going to break down a flat top and learn some great tips about doing clipper over comb. I hope that you're here after watching my latest video on clipper over comb phase 2. And if you are, I just want to say thanks, and I hope that you're doing the homework prescribed in that lesson. If you want to learn how to do clipper over comb, flat tops will be your greatest teacher. I've broke this down into chapters to make this easier to watch. We're going to be covering creating stability with clipper over comb, best clipper attachment to use with clipper over comb, how to position the hair before a flat top, how to address the crown, using shears in a flat top, freehand clipper technique, and also how to position the comb based on the client's hair pattern. Real quickly, I just want to go through the clipper holds. So this is the handshake grip. We're going to hold it just like this, just like I was shaking hands with somebody, and that's going to be used when we're doing it towards the bottom for clipper over comb. Now we're going to switch over to the pencil grip, just holding it like it's a pencil, and I'm going to write with it. Boom, I got this grip for when I'm above the parietal ridge. I would try to do that on a slight diagonal. So if you try to put it too much horizontal, you could get caught in one of the teeth. You could make a mistake. So slightly horizontal coming across the comb, pencil grip, and the other grip is the Freddy, just like I was holding the knife and I was doing something in a horror film. This is going to give me more stability. This is great for any type of freehand work. So that would be usually the three main positions that I'll use. Okay, we're going to begin by bulk removing. I have a number 2 on the clipper, and as we talked about in the clipper over comb lesson, number 2 or a 1 1/2 will be a perfect launch point for clipper over comb. And the reason is, if I was to take the comb that I'm using, push it flat right up against the side of the head and cut everything that stuck out, I would be left with about a 1 1/2 or a 2, especially if I'm tipping this out slightly. So let's keep on going here. Let's knock out all this bulk. Let's get rid of all that. And we are going to taper his haircut down a little bit more than a 2 towards the bottom. But this is going to be a perfect length to go ahead and just start with. And once we have this started, we're going to comb through this hair, and I need to get it to stand up. I got to get it in position first, and he has some product in here. And this is one of the most important steps during a flat top. I tried spraying it and like reviving his product a little bit, but I always blow dry it, and I try my best to get it to lift up. So if you're dealing with one of them clients where their hair falls forward, you want to blow dry it against the grain. All right, I got it standing up pretty good, and we're going to begin by cutting and just putting it in there. I'm not even needing to lift. I'm just putting it in there, tipping it out just a little bit, and you're going to see that that's going to start to get out. You're going to get a better view here in just a second, but I'm just laying the comb in there, holding it on the angle that I want, and I'm creating the shape that I want. Now, this will take you a little bit of practice, but you're going to start to get this down. And if you notice, my knuckles are actually dragging against the side of his head. I'm actually using that as an anchor point, and I'm creating a lot of stability there. So I have my knuckles pushed up against the head. I have the hair sort of in the comb, and then I'm touching it with the clipper very gently, and that's like 3 points of contact. That's giving me a lot of stability. Now you can also use this horizontal hold to just get any little ones out that are just not going your way, and we're going to begin shaping the crown. So in a flat top, most of the time you're going to be rounding it in the crown. So I'm just going to lift it up. I'm trying to lift it up against the grain. And all I'm really doing right now is I'm shaping the back and sides of this out, and I'm positioning myself to begin cutting the top. Okay, so if you noticed, I'm actually using a 5-0 when I'm doing this clipper over comb. And one of the reasons why I like using the 5-0 is because I like to see exactly what I'm being left with as it comes out of the comb. So I'm literally just able to eviscerate that hair, and it will be left at that exact same length. If you're new at this, you might want to give yourself some forgiveness, grab a clipper, put it in the open position, and cut away. Now some of that hair is going to stick out, so you're going to have to judge it a little better. Now I'm going to be adding some product to his hair because I just couldn't get it to stand up. His old product wasn't working, but if you notice, his hair sort of wants to fall forward. So I'll begin in the front and move back so I could lift that hair up against the grain. And now I'm using my pinky to actually brace myself up against the head, help me create stability, help me create like a bridge. And then when I come through with the clipper, I'm able to just be really gentle and move my way. Now the idea right now is to just try to cut a section straight down the middle and go all the way back to the crown. Now, nothing about this step should be perfect. You shouldn't worry about it too much. Just try to pick up your section right from where you cut before and work your shape back. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to say, oh, what about a flat top comb? What about this? These are the combs that I like to use. I don't want it to be too big. I like to tip it in different directions. I'm not taking off too much in one pass. So this is just the comb that I feel the most value with when I'm cutting. And I'm going to go through using vertical holds, and you're going to see that my knuckle is hitting the side of his head, and that's also creating that length, and I'm able to kind of keep it really still that way. I'm also balancing the comb on his scalp, holding it in like a vertical position, and I'm just creating the shape. And as you work with this technique, you will get better, you will improve. You're just pretty much cutting what doesn't look right, and it just takes a lot of finagling. It's sort of like when you're doing an edge up. You're going to go in there and you're going to make mistakes, but the best thing you could do is put yourself in the best possible position and just go ahead and cut the things that don't look right and continue working it so you got that shape the way that you want it. So once I got this crown kind of shaped up the way that I want it, and I'm working my way back the opposite way that I came. Now, if your flat top ever gets out of whack and something happens, the best thing you can do is lower the middle to make it look more flat out towards the sides. That's not exactly what I'm doing. I'm just going through trying to hold the hair up in different ways, and I like what I'm seeing. I like the shape. Tell me I got you guys. All right, comment below if I got you. I was trying to trick you up. I was trying to scare you guys. Comment below if I got you, and I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I'm going to give away one of the newest alphas with the fusion blade and that new stretch bracket, so you guys could check it out. So I'm going to be picking a winner, and I'm sorry, it's going to be from the USA only, so please just let me know where you're from, and we'll see who wins this clipper. All right, so the rest of this is pretty straightforward. Now, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm tipping the clipper on an angle when I'm cutting towards the sides, and you need to be using your mirror, you need to be stepping back, you need to be using your eyes, and there is definitely one big technique that's going to help you. I'm going to show it a little bit later in the video, but it definitely is a game changer with flat tops. You'll be able to make sure that you didn't make any mistakes before they leave. Now, I'm kind of lucky with this client. He's like 7 foot tall, so if I jack up his flat top, ain't nobody gonna know but me and him and like them other 3 people in the whole world that are as tall as him. But also, this guy is 7 feet tall, and he could whoop my ass, so I'm gonna make sure I don't mess up his flat top. Now, you see me going through doing a little freehand technique. I'm gonna give you a little tip. I'm doing this with a 5-0. Now, one of the reasons why I like doing this with a 5-0 is because I like to see exactly what's coming off, especially when I'm cutting with the comb. However, if you're new at this, when you're doing this, I would recommend that you do this portion. If you're going to do freehand clipper work, do this portion with your clipper in the open position. Use anything with a taper blade or a fade blade, but that's going to give you a little bit more forgiveness. I don't really feel like I need the forgiveness. I'm using the clipper position number 4, and I call it the Freddy, but that's giving me a lot of stability. I'm balancing on the side of his head. I'm doing all kinds of stuff to stay stable. And I'm going to go through, I'm going to blow dry this one more time, reapply product, and now I'm going to be using the shears. So you can't really tell from the video that well, but the only part of my shear that I'm actually using to cut is inside, deep inside the shear, or a little bit towards the inside of the shear, because that's going to create less issues for you. You're not going to make mistakes. You're going to be able to just cut those little hairs. If you use the tip, it's just so easy to cut a divot, and you just don't need to do that. So that's just one of the things that I'm doing there. Now, as for the sideburns, even though we did a number 2, I do this all the time. I think it's a real barber move to go ahead and taper your haircuts down just a little bit further. So I did it with an open taper just in the sideburn area, and I'm going to go through, round them out, edge them up, and everything else is going to be pretty normal, standard what you see. So also I did the number 2. I'm going to take a one open, one closed, just in that area around his ears, just so I can get that, and air that out real nice. Now, I like to work both lines down the side of his head all the way to the back. I haven't actually done the taper yet, but I'm going to taper out his neckline, and I'm going to show you guys a couple quick tips there for tapering I'm going to create a rainbow guideline. So with my clipper in the closed position, I'm going to go up fairly high in the middle, and I'm going to create that arcing shape. And one of the reasons why I do that is because I want to maintain those two nice lines that I got coming down, and I haven't had to cut too deep into his hairline to do that. And then I'm just going to begin tapering it out like I would, putting my clipper in the open position and then working that clip down just little by little, clicking that lever down until I got that first line out. Then I'm going to go in with my one open, one close, 0 open, 0 close, and that's pretty much going to be it. And stay tuned for the biggest tip that's coming in just a second once this taper's finished. Probably one of the coolest things about learning clipper over comb is, unlike learning fading, unlike learning cutting the top with shears, unlike all those other techniques that we talk about, you can actually you can actually practice this technique on a mannequin. So I've linked a mannequin down below. I want you guys to grab one, and I want you guys to keep up on these lessons and actually practice with me, because it's really going to give you the best chance at feeling comfortable with this. And if you feel comfortable with this, you're going to take it to the shop and you're going to do well with it. So the only thing I would caution you is, when you do buy a mannequin, make sure you get one with real human hair. And like I said, I linked it in the description, and this is actually the mannequin that I'm going to be using for a couple lessons coming up on the channel. So this is that last tip. This is the fire tip. Take your flat top, tip it every single direction, and look for mistakes. You'll almost always find mistakes. Like, I found that one little hair, I nipped it with my scissors real quick before I got my final look, but you will always find mistakes when you do this. And that's pretty much it. So take their head and just tip it all the different directions, and you will find any little mistakes in your flat top. Cut them up, fix them up. So the last thing that I want you guys to do is to go ahead, get a mannequin, give this thing some practice. Or if you have a client that's willing to let you try it on them, do it on the client. After you guys got your mannequin, what I want you to do is, I want you guys to get in some practice. Cut it and leave it longer, and take it down and try it a few different times. Once you get a good one, what I want you guys to do is, I want you to go ahead, take a photo of it, head over to Instagram, post it, and hashtag Eddie's Army, and also tag me so I could see it. So tag me right here, and what I'm going to do is, I'm going to grab some of these photos, and I'm going to be breaking them down in a later video. With that being said, man, I really appreciate all the support, all the love, and everything. And I hope that you guys are mastering clipper over comb and you're ready to move on to phase 3. So we're going to move on to phase 3, how to cut the top with shears. And I'll see you guys there. Peace. This comb, and you also want to make sure that you are, I don't like it. I'm gonna start over. And let's just do that again.